Hello, 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 and welcome to the temple. I am your high priestess, Erin Seneva McHugh, and I am here to bring you divine light, the practice of reverence and devotion, and the return to yourself. So let us have our opening statement, our opening prayer. As we enter this temple, I welcome the presence of our higher selves. I welcome the presence of the highest consciousness into this space, highest love, highest compassion. I ask for the divine to hold us in the light today, all day. I welcome the benevolent teachers and weavers of the divine plan to grace this space, to support the expansion and sharing of spiritual experience and education. This is the place where we witness the work that we talk about. We can be present for the unfolding of hearts returning to their true medicine. And you may be called to this space today because you are seeking connection to your divinity, or you are seeking a space where you can truly dive into your inherent perfection. It's time to remember how to heal, how to walk the path of love, and participate in the restoration of the divine plan on earth. And so it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let us see here. How are you today, my friends? Welcome to all of you watching on replay later. We are in a beautiful space right now. We have entered into the time of Virgo, right? So the sun has entered into Virgo, and we have there's such a relief that literally happens in my body when the sun leaves Leo. I can't really explain it, but it also does coincide with children going back to school, which is great for us and for them, as well as whoops. And we are also in this place where it's time to time to clean up, right? So I have this awareness of a relaxing, a surrendering that happens in my body at this time of year, and it certainly is interesting. And when I listen to my body and when I listen to the field, I actually feel my lifetimes of the temple, because this is the time where the Vestal Virgins, right, are celebrated and honored. What is Virgo? She is the virgin. And what does that mean? Hello everyone, so glad you're here. Um there are these novices, right, that come into the temple, and the church turned them into virgins. But they probably were virgins in the temple. And what is that? They're novices. They're brand new. It's like there's also this my intuition also tells me that the timing of school and everything was actually based on the timing of the temple. And this is the temple to the goddess I am speaking of. And so this timing is really about when the new young ones would come into the temple to offer themselves, not as sacrifice, but to become priests and priestesses. And so when you enter into this space, we're entering into a purification time, because when you enter into the temple, you go through a purification, and that allows you to be ready for the information that you're about to receive, right? And so this is really important for us to look at from from the perspective of the collective. So, what is important for us to be clearing, clarifying? Oh, is the video stuck for people? Well, that's not good. Let me double check over here. If we are having problems, um, let's see here. Where is it? Looks like we're okay. What was I about to do? Is it still stuck? Can you see me? I can see there's nobody watching, so maybe there's a problem. Oh, it does look like there's a problem. Was live. Looks like we've been cut off. Let's start over. You can probably still hear me, like, okay. Well, we're still on YouTube. So, who's here on YouTube? This is interesting. So it looks like or remove add. Thanks for being patient, everybody. We're going to see if this will fix things here. Perhaps this is repaired. Let's see now. Oh. Well, we'll continue. Maybe it will fix itself and maybe show up again on the Facebook. But either way, oh, yes, I see it. All right. Well, hopefully it's working. So, so I was talking about the Vestal Virgins, and can you hear me okay? Is the video okay? Maybe I'll deal with I'll deal with you later. But I do want to share this on my personal page. So, very interesting just to consider, right, that our world, our culture, it is actually following a pattern. And we see these patterns a lot in the awakening process. We see these patterns. Thank you, Cherise. Excuse me. We see these patterns around structures, right? So, in what is the word I'm looking for? Um, structures within um, school, education, training, businesses starting, right? Everything is going through right now the purification. So, this is a really good time to actually do a cleanse for yourself to prepare for winter. Also, because of in the northern hemisphere, of course, I'm speaking. Um, we're also, we have a bounty, right, from the summer, from our crops, and it's a really great time to use these fresh fruits and vegetables to cleanse and purify and nutrify ourselves, nourish ourselves, right? So one of the things that the Vestal Virgins are taxed with is learning the hymns, right? Learning how to be the sonic medicine. And so this is also old, right? So when the novices come in, priestess or nun, right? We we come into this sacred space and we have to learn the foundations. And we have to place those foundations within our bodies, right? So if were offered as an oracle at Delphi or at, any of the oracular sites in Central Eastern Europe, then you weren't just tossed into the chamber or into the cave. You were trained over time. And so you were given blueprints, you were given foundational work, foundational information, and meditations. And so singing is foundation, right? What happened before there was light, there was sound. And so creation is literally sung into existence, right? So this is also something that, we are born with. We're born with sound. We gestate to the sound of our mother's heartbeat, right? What is the very first thing that we hear? It is blood pumping. And that is music, right? That is rhythm, and that is a sacred rhythm. That is the rhythm that is brought into every ceremony, indigenous ceremony, especially North American teepee ceremonies. With and without medicine, the presence of the drum, I should say, with and without sacrament. There's always medicine in all kinds of forms. But within these Native American traditions, the drum is considered the heartbeat of the mother, and it is invaluable. It is the most important thing of every ceremony, is the presence of the drum. It's the presence of the mother's heartbeat. Also in the sweat lodge, as it's called, or the anipi or the temescal, you are inside the womb. And it is the mother's heartbeat driven by the drum that is renewing you while you are in that purgative process of being in the sweat. And it really is referred to as the womb, and that you are reborn. And in some traditions, they'll even say, "Happy birthday," and you kiss the ground as you exit that place, because you really are being renewed and reborn. And what happens inside those ceremonies the whole time? If you're not praying, you're singing. You're singing. What happens inside plant medicine ceremonies? What is the driving force? Song. And if you have experience in actual um South American traditional plant medicine ceremonies, rarely are there actual instruments. If there are, they're very rudimentary, crudely made, probably one or two strings, of a gourd instrument, or, shakers, things like that. But in the Amazon, at least in Peru, in my personal direct experience, the only instrument was a voice and a tambourine. And the tambourine was a very rare sound that you heard. It was really only a French woman who had her tambourine with her. But it was also actually a Brazilian style tambourine with the skin on it. So what are what are these all encompassing? What do these all have to do with each other? Singing and song, right? Every time that you go to church, there's always music, because music is what wakes and stirs the soul. Music is what brings us home to ourselves. And so I want to bring this medicine in. You all know that I'm a singer. Obviously, the name of my business is Divine Singing, and that's not just having to do with song itself, but having to do with my work is to help the divine sing through you. So Yes, I teach voice. Yes, I sing. Yes, I perform. Yes, I hold sacred sound ceremonies. Yes, I will hold space for you and use my voice, right? And even in my alchemy sessions, sound healing is often a part. I will tone, in order to move energy. This is because that's what the voice is for. So let's use September as a time to reconnect to the pureness, the original innocence of our voice, because we actually grow up with our voice becoming compromised, tainted, shut down. um how many times were you told to be quiet? How many times were you told not to sing? How many times were you told to hush, 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 right? And it it can be really hard. Um, oh goodness. Thank you for fixing your notifications, Lori's. You might have to make sure that you're following me and also select me to be a favorite on your Facebook page in order to be notified. But I am also on YouTube. So please subscribe on my YouTube and you'll never miss a beat. so um so we have to give ourselves the opportunity to really be compassionate to that inner voice. I mean, one of the main things that really chaps my hide is when people say, "Oh, I can't sing. Oh, I can't. No, no, no. I have a horrible voice. I have a terrible voice." No, you don't. You have been told you have a terrible voice, and so you have not worked on your voice in any way or trained your ear so that you continue to sing off key just because you never had somebody help you. That's what I that's where I step in and say, "Let's just have a few voice lessons. Let's get your ear trained. Let's make sure you know how to listen. Let's make sure you know how to match pitch." And off you go. Right? So, singing is so incredibly valuable. And not just for when you want to practice reverence or devotion and you want to connect to God through singing, and please do. Right? God or goddess, whoever you're singing to, they love it. They receive it. It is received. And the energies of the astral, the energies of the divine, they will come into your life the more you sing to them. And this is the whole point, right? You manifest through active application to the matrix. And active application, also known as the use of your free will. Okay? So active application of your energy via your free will is amplified when you sing, and I'll tell you why. When you sing, you are using your entire brain. When you sing, you are regulating your circulatory system, your respiratory system, and your nervous system. Singing, and if you followed me at all, I'm going to spout some statistics that you've probably already heard. But it is really important to be shared because you need to know this data. It's so valuable. It can potentially save your life. So regulating your nervous system via the vagal nerve can happen through humming, through toning, and singing. When you regulate your nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system via the vagal nerve, you actually support the heart in having a regular heartbeat. So rapid heartbeat happens when the vagal nerve is unregulated. It's out of sync with the rest of the body. Okay? So if you tone, you are creating vibration here when the vagal nerve is fattest connected to the brainstem going through the throat. So when you right, when you create a vibration here, you vibrate the vagal nerve, which helps to soothe it, as well as to do whatever it does with its like secretions of good hormones. I'm not really quite sure how it works, but just that frequency, the vibrating, helps the vagal nerve be regulated, thus the rest of your nervous system. Okay. Along with that, you have an organ inside your ear. This organ in your ear is called the sacculus. And the sacculus is right behind the cochlea. And so when you sing or tone or hum, the sacculus vibrates and it is connected to the hypothalamus. And guess what happens? When you sing, this is why you love to sing. Even if you're off key, even, you're singing at the top of your lungs in the shower or in the car, you love it. It feels good because your body drops dopamine and serotonin when the sacculus vibrates. So, since you've been gone, you're driving in your car, I can't feel it. And it feels so good because, you're like, ooh, yes, we love it. We love it when you sing, right? So consider that you are actually taking care of your mental health. You're actually taking care of your own regulation by singing. So not only are you helping your body while you are connecting to God, if you are doing, or goddess, universe, divine, if you are singing to creation, if you are praying through song, then your prayer is amplified probably 100-fold, considering the fact that you're lighting up your whole body through song. And it's just this, it's almost like the ripples of your energy moving through creation, right? This is what this tattoo is for and about. Oh my gosh, Charisse, I love that. I totally have the image of you doing that, sliding around on your socks, being joyful. I love that. But if we pay attention to, when we put our finger in water, you see the ripples go out. Those ripples go out and they keep going until they touch something else, and then the ripples change and they go in another direction. This is representative of what happens in the universe, in the material realm, when we exert energy, when we say something, when we sing something, the ripples are even bigger. Okay? Because of the amount of energy that's being used, because of how you are being, because singing demands your attention. People talk without saying a fucking thing for hours. And where is that energy going? There's not much energy behind it if it's not thoughtful, right? So if you can consider that that you are actually, okay, wait, I have to make sure that I'm singing correctly. I have to make sure that I'm breathing. I have to make sure that I'm saying the right words. I have to, all of these things demand your focus, and every ounce of your presence and your focus is felt by the matrix. It's felt by the universe. Lori says, I used to sing all the time, but vocal cord dysfunction has made it really hard to sing now. That's so sad. I have problems with breathing and even swallowing inside. I really love singing, but my voice sounds terrible now. That is very hard to hear, my friend. My goodness. I'm so curious about the vocal cord dysfunction, especially with making it hard to swallow. I wonder about that. I'm like, the spiritual alchemist in me is like, what past life fucked you over? We can fix this, Lori. We've been in this together far too long to just let you keep going with your vocal cord disturbance or dysfunction. Excuse me. Oh, so much love to you, sister. I can't imagine. I mean, the only thing that I can relate to is actually losing my voice and how horrible it feels, and I have to remind myself this is only temporary. My voice is going to come back, but that's like when the universe really wants to send a message to me, they take my voice. Yep. Um yeah. Yeah, and is there right? And this is so good, Charisse, like as a practitioner, we want to look from the perspective of what is the theme, right? Louise L. Hay has, illuminated this aspect of like, okay, the throat chakra. What are we what are we holding on to? What are we trying to communicate? What is not being heard, right? What is the disturbance here? Or maybe there was a past life where you had your throat slit, stuff like that. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Do you guys get distracted by the fact that I play with my hair all the time? I once I when I watch my videos back, I'm like, gosh, I touch and play with my hair all the time. But you know what? It's better than other things. I just don't want to be distracting. But I have a lot of hair, so it's always like, you know, I put it to the side so that I'm not so hot. And then I play with it and then I swing it around. I just have so much actually. I really need a haircut. So let's sing. Yeah, and this is the community, Corey. This is the community, Lori, where we want to figure things out for each other. We want everyone to be in the optimal experience of life. And we feel for you, Lori. That must be really hard. And I'm curious, if you saw an ENT, I'm sure you did. And with the okay, thanks everybody. I will continue to play with my hair. um, i- yes. Oh, and especially because you love singing. But you know what? Here's the thing: keep singing, Lori. Please keep singing. It's not necessarily um it's not always for entertainment, it's for you. Singing is for you. So even if your voice is scratchy or or it gets bumpy or something like that, that's okay because if you love to sing, then you should keep singing unless it's actually hurting you, like vocal nodules, right? Um we do have to be careful of nodules and considering how much I like clear my throat, I'm a little bit concerned for vocal nodules, but thanks, Samara. So yes, so what do we sing when we're singing for creator? What we some of us were raised in the church or spent time in the church and we really love gospel, or we really love those Christmas time, hymns and songs like that. I love it when it's honestly wintertime, singing carols to my children. I love it when I get to like, oh, it's wintertime. We get to sing all of the carols now, instead of the lullabies. And um I love that. But when it comes to singing to the universe, singing to creator in order to connect, this is where I practice improvisation. And I actually have a name for it. It's called authentic improvised devotion. So, authentic improvised devotion, hello, Patrine, welcome, is literally the practice of just connecting and improvising. And there are other ways to also refer to it as catching a song. Um, if there's like a whole thing that comes. Um, but authentic devotion, improvised authentic devotion, is really just that. It's just really being in the moment, being with the divine, and expressing your love and devotion to the divine, and thusly amplifying your connection to it, right? Amplifying your own divine energy. And so one of the ways that we can do that, we don't always improvise. We also have a lot of really good songs. And one of the things that I really like to um, teach to my students is to have kind of basic basic songs for certain situations, right? So my ancestor hymn for one, or having a water song, having a water song on hand for whenever you are seeing or being with a river or a body of water, or having a song for the fire anytime that you are present with the fire, or maybe when you are lighting a candle and you want to connect with grandfather fire, connect with the sun. Maybe you have a song about the sun that you can sing. So these songs, when we're song carriers, we literally have songs that are for specific, that are for occasion. And this is what, and we'll go back to the temple, this is what we learn, the very first things, among the very first things that we learn in the temple, as temple priestesses, or or nuns, as virgins, as novices. We're learning the hymns, we're learning the foundational music for every occasion, right? And so for us who are not necessarily residing within a temple, or within any kind of spiritual structure or religious structure, we are with nature. Nature is our church, nature is our temple. And so having songs for nature help you to connect to nature, right? So we have the beautiful West African Yoruban tradition that has, because of the diaspora, because of the slave trade, we actually have these beautiful traditions that have translated in the Caribbean islands, in Brazil, and northern South America, and have created their own spiritualities around the orishas being the gods of nature. And so there are a ton of songs, or hymns, or pontos, as they are called in Brazil, to these individual beings, like Iemanjá, which is the Portuguese way of saying Yemaya, who is the West African goddess of the ocean, mother of the sea. Oshun, probably the most popular in general, to the Muggle crew. Oshun may be made popular by Beyonce, I'm not quite sure. She is the river goddess, right? And we have gods of lightning and thunder, and the gods of the wind, and the orisha that is kind of like the equivalent of Jesus, like the Christ light. All of these have names, and they have their gestures as well. They have their phrases, and they have songs. And even individuals who connect to these people, or to the orishas, um, we might receive hymns or songs to these individual nature energies. I certainly have, right? So it's this really wonderful way for us to tap into the energy of nature, tap into what nature wants to also connect to us. What you may not know is that your desire to connect to a tree, to hug a tree, is most likely going both way. That tree really wants to connect to you. Whenever you see a tree and you're just like, "Oh, I gotta give that tree a hug. I gotta give that tree a hug. I'm just gonna, God, that tree is beautiful." That tree hears you and feels you and appreciates your adoration. I kid you not. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so there is this excuse me, there is this presence of openness and receptivity within nature that wants to hear you sing to it. It really does. The animals want to hear you. And the Fae, especially, I love singing for the Fae and inviting them out because the Fae don't feel safe, right? And the Fae come in different forms. Could be fairies, could be elves, leprechauns, tree nymphs, dryads, unicorns, dragons. These are all different aspects of Fae. And they stay hidden because it's not safe for them for the most part. So with that, we sing to them and we offer to them lightness of energy so that they can feel safe and come and connect with us. And how beautiful is that, right? So we have a lot of different ways that we can use our voice and we can use our song to connect to the divine, to heal ourselves, to call in medicine from the astral, from divine beings, from the earth. You know, when you sing an Icaro is an ayahuasca song from the jungle. When you sing the song that correlates to the plant, that plant has delivered that song to the individual who received it. The song belongs to the plant, not the individual. Okay. And when one who has dieted that plant, right, outside of drinking ayahuasca, but you are eating this plant or drinking tea from this plant on a daily basis, you sing a song to the plant in order to activate the medicine within it so that it hears your vibration, it hears your intention, it receives your frequency via your mouth, via your sound. And then the plant comes alive hearing your song and says, and responds in kind, responds and says, "Yes, I will provide you the medicine that you are seeking." This is the magic of sound and song. And this is the subtle work that is happening between ourselves and nature when we pay attention and we allow ourselves to notice. What are we doing here? We're singing to the spirit of the plant and the spirit of the otherwise, we're just taking the plant. We're just consuming a plant. But if we sing to it, we enliven it. We wake it up. We call the guardian spirit of that plant to come and be present with us while we consume it so that we are actually receiving the whole medicine of what is presented to us here. Funny enough, when I did Dieta 20 years ago, literally 20 years ago, in Peru, funny enough, I was given the roses. First, I was given a plant that is much like garlic, very cleansing, purifying plant called ajo sacha. And you're taught, one or two Icaros for ajo sacha, and then you sing that every time before you drink your tea, and then you also sing it in ceremony, sing that hymn in ceremony in order to activate that healing spirit within you while you're in ceremony. So we can do this all our lives about all kinds of things. We can sing our children awake into sleep. We can call their spirits forward by singing their name to them. Sing to your children. They will appreciate it. Their bodies will thank you. So I also used to tone for my children when they were having a hard time. If there was something big that was happening and they were dysregulated, I would tone into their heart center, front or back. Also toning at bedtime. If they were having a hard time falling asleep, if they were, kind of wound up, I would sing a few songs, and if nothing was shifting, then I would tone. And the tone, whether or not I was singing into their body or just toning in the room, it would fill the space and it would fill their bodies, and they would receive that frequency, and the medicine would just soothe their system. And within a couple of minutes, definitely less than 3 minutes, they would be asleep every single time. First 2, 3 years of their lives, both of them, all three of them. Yeah. So, shall we sing? Shall we, darling? So, I would love to give some examples of maybe a hymn or two, and you're already familiar. Some of you, if not all of you, are already familiar with my ancestor song, but we will sing it anyways because it's a good calling song. And then I'll share a couple of my other hymns with you, and then we'll do some improvisation. So stick around, sing along, hum along. You will be so glad that you did. It will really help you to regulate your nervous system and calm your breath, calm your heart rate, whatever is going on for you. Singing is also incredibly valuable for anxiety. So if you are someone who has anxiety on a regular basis, singing and toning is going to relieve that anxiety. I promise you. You have to do it consistently. So when you're feeling the anxiety and you for a good 2 minutes, yes, that's even more powerful than counting backwards from 10, you know, far more powerful than just taking some deep breaths. It actually slows down your breath so much that it slows down your heart rate. It slows down all of the neurons that are firing in your head when you're just like in panic mode. And it makes you breathe slower. And when you breathe slower, you are more grounded, you are more centered, and you are more connected. Okay. Sacred ancestors, come to me. Sacred ancestors who love me. Sacred ancestors, come to me. Sacred ancestors, please help me. All my mother's, father's, brothers, sisters, and relations too, who have loved me for always. I keep the light for you. All my mother's, father's, brothers, sisters, and relations too, who have loved me for always. I keep the light for you. So we're just gonna go straight into improvising. I'm gonna use my looper here. I use my looper. I like to just kind of create a choir behind me. Why is this? I've got something under here. There we go. Oh, better. Okay. All right. Gosh, I sound so loud. Am I too loud? It's so loud in my ears. Okay. I need you. Ki-ho-e, i-e-o-e, i-e-o-e. Kahuati se ni takia-ue, ti-o-e, ti-o-e. Ooh, sing that. Ooh, sing that. Ooh, sing that. Ooh. Kila sete wati mother, 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 mother. I call to you and I need you, oh mother, oh mother. Please cleanse my heart, please cleanse my soul. Mother, dear mother of my soul. Oh, right? They're super fun, Topher. Super fun. And just to get into, like, just for a few minutes, just to get into that being in that feeling, being in that vibration, that environment, creating the environment of joy and connection to creation. Creation, right? So good, so fun. Is there, so I wanted to also share an example of a hymn of mine and that I've also received from an Orisha. Um, because, these are all, so I've received a lot of medicine songs. And one of the aspects of being in a medicine church, right? So I was a member of the Santo Daime for many years, which is an ayahuasca church that comes from Brazil. And so we sing in Portuguese. And or I should say they sing in Portuguese. I'm not a member of that church anymore, but I do sing these songs, sometimes because they're beautiful, they're powerful. And I also have some students that are in the Santo Daime, and so I support them with their ability to sing and be singing leaders in the church. So I actually am recently on a regular basis singing these hymns, and they're it's an interesting thing because it's a combination of Catholicism, indigenous medicine, and kind of new age Christianity. And so it's very interesting. And the mother is present, but it's still a patriarchal religion. It still is very much patriarchal, even with the presence of the feminine figure of the ayahuasca. But while being in there, it's very common it's very common for people to receive their own hymns. And already being a singer and a songwriter, I was a prolific hymn receiver. And I have over 25 hymns and as well as other medicine songs that are kind of considered not hymns, but just medicine songs. So I'm trying to protect you guys from clearing of my throat. It's really difficult. Um, we have to, I'm pretty sure we need to mitigate mold again in the house, which is what's been happening lately. Unfortunately. Um, so so there's this hymn that I want to sing that is for the Orisha Oshumare. And Oshumare is the rainbow deity. Very much the in-between one. And this was the first hymn that I received for an Orisha. And I actually received it on the New York City subway. Randomly enough, funny enough, I received it in the subway, and it's one of my favorites. It's always kind of been one of my favorites. Well, I guess I did receive my Oshun hymn first. Where is it? Thank you for your patience. There it is. Oh, number 15. So I didn't, it wasn't my first one. This I received in 2009. And that was the year I got pregnant with my first child. There was a lot that happened for me in this year. And so this is for Oshumare. Oxumare is how it is spelled. Rainbow deity. This is the in-between one, right? This is the trans deity, if you will. Oshumare, Oshumare, I ask for light, this is how I pray. Oshumare, Oshumare, I ask for light, this is how I pray. Lead us from the darkness, lead us not astray. Keep us in your firmness each and every day. Cleanse us of our sorrows, free us from the pain. Teach us how to forgive and rise above again. Lead us from the darkness, lead us not astray. Keep us in our firmness each and every day. Cleanse us of our sorrows, free us from the pain. Teach us how to forgive and rise above again. Oshumare, Oshumare, I ask for light, this is how I pray. Oshumare, Oshumare, I ask for light, this is how I pray. My path has been so crooked, help me make it straight. I'm crawling out of darkness to sanctify my fate. Forgive me of my past deeds, there is no time to waste. Help me lead a strong life, it's time to celebrate. My path has been so crooked, help me make it straight. I'm crawling out of darkness to sanctify my fate. Forgive me of my past deeds, there is no time to waste. Help me lead a strong life, it's time to celebrate. Oshumare, Oshumare, I ask for light, this is how I pray. Oshumare, Oshumare, I ask for light, this is how I pray. Thank you so much. Thank you, Oshumare. Yeah, so I went through many, I mean, it was really 3 thick years of me, receiving hymns, basically all between, okay, 5 years, 4 years, 2007 through my 25th hymn, I received, 11, 11, 11. So it's been some time. It's actually been 14 years. I have received other hymns, but they're not in my book. Yeah, so, you know, the having children definitely changed the energy of me, of my receptivity. And, I create all kinds of different music, including making music with my husband, which I'd love to share with you. Maybe I'll share the one concert that we performed together at the Sister Winds Festival in 2019 when I was pregnant with Elijah. So it's very easy to create when you don't have children. And once you have children, you have to work really, really hard to actually create creative space for yourself. But it's very important. It's really, really, really valuable. So important. I consider this space to be one of my creative spaces that I give to myself, me connecting with all of you and sharing with you. I'm so glad that you receive from it. I do this for myself. I really do this for myself because I have information within me that needs to get out. I have energy within me that needs to be shared, and I need to be seen. It needs to be seen. It needs to be heard. And I provide that for myself. And I hope that you will do that for yourself as well. However, it is that you desire to be seen or to be heard, to be witnessed in whatever way that serves your highest good. I pray that you do that for yourself. And follow through on what is your passion, follow through on where does your glory reside. Create that opportunity for yourself. We all need to do it for ourselves because nobody else is going to do it for us. This is why I created tours in Europe, because I need to go home, because I need to have that healing. And I literally started it in 2018. I brought my first group across the pond to Ireland because I need to go home. I need to have that healing. And I've continued with it. So do this for yourself. Whatever it is, give yourself the platform, the opportunity, the space. There's nothing in the way anymore. Social media has created a platform for you to share who you are authentically, unabashedly. And if you're holding back, that's you holding yourself back, because this is free. I mean, it's not technically free because I pay for the software, but but you can do it without the software. You could do this for free, right? Take care of yourself, love yourself, give yourself what you need. I am a type of personality who is, yes, a performer, but I am also a wisdom keeper, a teacher, and a speaker. And so I am here to remember all of the things and share them with you. Thank you for receiving them. So next week, I will be in France. I don't know what will happen as far as popping up. Obviously, you all know I will be with Laura Starr, and so we will have random podcasts. So you'll see it here. Oh, either through my page, I should say through my account, or through Laura's. I'm sure we'll chime in, and she might chime in more than once on her own page. We will be having an open dragon circle on next Thursday. So the normal time for the Rumara Dragon Circle is 2 p.m. So in an hour, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And so that'll be, in the evening for us on Thursday, and it'll be, I believe, a perfect time. That is the 4th. It'll be the perfect time. Yep, that's the 4th. For us to connect, share what has been happening, and how we have connected also to the dragons of the land so far by that time. So, and that will be, just a few days in for our journey. Thank you all for coming today. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for sitting through the replay and hearing the songs. I hope that you sang along. I hope that you will continue to sing, and that you will tone for yourself, support yourself with sound. That's what your body was given. Thank you to all of the divine beings that grace our lives, that support us in our healing, our sovereignty, and our highest good, supporting us and following our true paths, our true purpose. May we be held together in the name of love, in bright, shining community of support, sisterhood and brotherhood, fellowship, and growth. Thank you all so much for being here. We release you. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. I love you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.